everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Happy Halloween! Yeah, this is going to be coming out after Halloween, but still, happy belated Halloween! So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I watched for Halloween. So during this month, I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of Halloween movies that I haven't watched. Those types of movies that you usually watch during spooky season. So I chose some that I haven't watched yet, some that I had watched it already, but I didn't remember because it was such a long time ago, but they can fit into the Halloween theme. I'm going to comment about them, talk about if they were good, if they were bad. Even though spooky season is over, it's never too late to talk about spooky movies. And since I'm supposed to be a witch for today's video, let's start by seeing what our potion is going to bring to us. What is the first movie that the potion is going to show us so we can talk about? Ah, I see. We're going to start talking about practical magic.
Two witch sisters, raised by their eccentric aunts in a small town, face closed-minded prejudice and a curse which threatens to prevent them of ever finding lasting love.
I watched this movie because I saw that Nicole Kidman shared on her Instagram that it was its anniversary, and I was like, wait, what? There's a movie about witches that involves Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. That being said, they're the best part of the movie. The relationship between the sisters and them working together to reunite, to reconnect their bond, that was what kept me interested in the movie. The part of the love curse and the relationships that it has in the movie, I was not really interested in that department. It's a little weird, you know that they are supposed to be there because it has to do with the love curse, but I want to see more about the witches and the witchy world and them being sisters and everything. The part where they're drinking margaritas with the aunts, I wanted to be there. Call me. I'm free, please. It was a simple movie, but it was wholesome. Alright, let's see what the next one is going to be. Alright, this one. It's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, is bored with doing the same thing every year for Halloween. One day, he stumbles into Christmas Town and is amazed by what he sees, deciding to make his own version of it.
I chose this movie because I hadn't watched it in a long time ago, and I knew that it was a good movie, but I didn't remember what it made so special. And I just fell in love with it again. I love Tim Burton's work. I think that he's a one-of-a-kind filmmaker. I think that during this book season, you have to at least watch one Tim Burton movie. He has some fine choices, it's part of his aesthetic, it's great. Even if he didn't direct this movie, he was there. He participated a lot on the production and everything. Jack, he's a skeleton, he's the Pumpkin King. Let's put some respect that he is the Pumpkin King. And he is tired of his job. He's been doing Halloween for years and years without changing one tiny bit. And he just wants a challenge, he wants something new. The song where he says that and then suddenly he's there and we see that they're kind of alike. They want a different thing from what they're living currently. He being in that state and then he discovers Christmas Town and he discovers that Christmas exists. It's like a spark light up on him again. It's like you're watching a new movie and you want everyone that you know to watch it too, but they don't get it. But you get it. And you want them to get it, you know? So he decides to take over Christmas. He becomes selfish because it's the first time in a long time that he found something that is giving him joy. One of the things that really made me highlight with this rewatch was Sally. Sally sees things that Jack can't see. He goes blind because of all this enthusiasm that he's feeling, that he can't really see the reality of things. And Sally sees that something may not go right. And she wants to help him or she wants to be there by his side when things go wrong. The ultimate thing with this movie is it's a Halloween movie or it's a Christmas movie. It can be both. It really has the Halloween spirit when we see the Halloween town and we see the characters that live there and we see Jack's dilemma. But we also get a lot of the Christmas spirit and we see what the Christmas spirit is about. Anyways, if you let me, I'm going to ramble about The Nightmare Before Christmas a lot. Okay, next movie. What's it gonna be? Okay, next movie we're going to be talking about, it's I Know What You Did Last Summer.
After an accident on a winding road, 4 teens make the fatal mistake of dumping their victim's body into the sea. But exactly 1 year later, the dead man returns from his watery grave and he's looking for more than an apology.
For my enthusiasm, you can see already what I felt about this movie. I really didn't like I Know What You Did Last Summer. I would like a fan to explain me why do you like this movie? Because for me, I just couldn't get into it. It's like this. The characters didn't seem to have any personality besides kind of stereotypes that were built around them. And the relationship between them, their interactions, just never went deep enough for me to really be interested in them. And then the villain is just really, that's your reasoning behind your actions and that's why you are doing this. Like, okay, I know you want to give them some kind of a lesson, but like, there's better ways to do this, but you kind of did already bad things since the start, so yeah, I do expect you to be reasonable. It didn't fit for me. I mean, yeah, the cast is really interesting to see how Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. worked in 2 movies that I know of together, and I did recognize the main girl from the Garfield movie because I watched that movie as a kid. I really liked watching this movie because I knew it had some fame to it, but it wasn't that good, at least for me. I already had watched Scream. Scream is much better, and I know that there's this comparison between them, but it really is hard not to compare them. It's like the same writer, and it was released 1 year after Scream. Let's try a new potion and see what movies it can bring to us. Yes! Okay, this is a fun one to talk about. Let's talk about Scooby-Doo, the 2002 movie live action.
The Mystery Inc. gang have gone their separate ways and have been apart for 2 years, until they each receive an invitation to Spooky Island. Not knowing that the others have also been invited, they must team up again and work each other's differences.
Scooby-Doo, where are you? This movie is a staple of my childhood. It is silly. It is goofy. You really, like, if you grew up watching this, of course you're going to have good memories attached to it. Scooby-Doo, in general, is a really fun cartoon to watch. I remember watching it as well. It's an interesting thing that the movie does of, like, what if those characters went against their typical character traits of the cartoons? Like Daphne, she usually is a damsel in distress. Velma is not recognized for what she does in the group, and like she's the brain of the group. Shaggy and Scooby have their friendship and their motto that friends stick together. And Fred, he likes to be in the spotlight, I guess.
Fred, what's the secret of your success? Teamwork. I do a tremendous amount of teamwork.
Hold up, wait a minute.
So it was really interesting how the movie portrays that. The actor who plays Shaggy, I can see now why people say that he was born for the role, because he is Shaggy. Like, he really acts like Shaggy.
You're not gonna stay out here alone, are you?
No, thank you.
From the other characters, I think that Linda played her really well. I can see Velma, I feel Velma. Daphne and Freddy are fine. Here's the other movie that we see Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. The CGI is weird, like 2002, man. Even though the plot of the mystery is a little crazy, it's a really cool adventure to go along with, and what more can you ask if the Scooby-Doo gang is with you along the ride? I don't think it's exactly a staple Halloween movie, but I thought that because of Scooby-Doo and everything that I should revisit this and rewatch it. Okay, let's see what is the next movie. Yes! Next movie we're going to be talking about is What We Do in the Shadows.
A mockumentary about the life of three flatmates who are just trying to get by and overcome life's obstacles, like being immortal vampires who must feast on human blood.
Let me explain what a mockumentary is. A mockumentary is a fictional documentary. It's not real, but it's like they're filming as if the subject was real. Let me start by saying that I love Taika Waititi's work. I didn't watch all of his filmography yet, but I plan to. You know, Jojo Rabbit was one of my favorite movies from 2019, and Thor Ragnarok is peak comedy on Marvel movies, along with Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. I just really love what he does in his movies. He makes humor really well with heartfelt moments and the humanity in its characters. A mockumentary about vampires made by Taika Waititi. That's all that I needed. That is all that I needed, man. It's just like, let me try to explain, goddammit. Each vampire is such an exquisite character. The actions of the vampires feel like how vampires would be in actuality. The dialogue in here, I'm sure that when I rewatch it, I'm going to laugh 10 times harder than I laughed in the first watch.
Look, a ghost cop. Here's your legs. Wow.
It has a joke with a woman that I was like, yes, man, I'm with you. Of course, it's always like this. It's always like this. I'm really trying not to give any spoilers here, so if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I want to present this movie to my friends, like, they need to watch this. We need to get together and watch this as a group, because it's going to be so funny. A hell of a time. Humor, it's something that sometimes it will work for you, sometimes it won't. So I can't say if this movie is going to work for you or not. If you got interested when I said that it's from Taika Waititi or that it's a mockumentary about vampires, then that already sells you. Go watch it. Okay, next one. Oh, okay. We're talking about a classic. We're talking about Halloween.
15 years after murdering his sister on a Halloween night, Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois, to kill again.
This movie is a classic for a reason, and I get it now. It's a movie that started the wave of slasher movies. It influences a lot of the slasher movies we see today. And Michael Myers as a character, it is iconic. Of course, the killer in here is thinking and meticulating every movement until he does the thing. And when he does, you just sit there with yourself and you're like, whoa, so this is it. That simple. The movie uses silence a lot. The silence is really what makes me be so aware of what's happening on screen. Of course, they use the soundtrack that I didn't know that this music was from this movie. And I'm gonna lie, I didn't feel so scared watching the movie, but low-key, when I went to bed, I couldn't help but shake the feeling that this man was in the dark somewhere. The character was just so present that I couldn't shake that feeling. The elements that make this movie, it just, everything was really well thought out. Why is it slow paced? Why the tension builds slowly? Why the music is used at some points? And why the silence is used in others? Why he acts the way he acts, like a kind of a stalker. But like when he has to do the thing, he does with no mercy. I need more time with it. I consider it a good movie. And I really wanna see the perspective of people that love this movie. So that's how I feel for now with Halloween. Okay. Let's see what the next one is. See, one that is beloved by many, and that is Hocus Pocus.
300 years have passed since the Sanderson sisters were executed for practicing dark witchcraft. Returning to life thanks to a combination of a spell spoken before their demise and the accidental actions of Max, the new kid in town, the sisters have but one night to secure their continued existence.
Okay, I really enjoy Hocus Pocus, mostly because of the witches. They are the main attraction, they are what you keep going in the movie. First of all, they're not from the time period. And second of all, their personalities. Mostly the personality of Sarah Jessica Parker's character. Every time she saw a boy, she was like, a boy.
I am beautiful. Boys will love me.
You're following the kids, of course. I love the sister. She's so smart, so big brain. It really is a friendly movie. I'm sure they marked a lot of 90s kids' childhood. And watching it now, it really doesn't feel too childish. It really feels like a fun movie to watch. I had a good time with it. It might become one of my staple Halloween movies to watch. I got a new badge with our last 3 movies. Okay. Alright. We're going to be talking about Train to Busan.
A man, his estranged daughter, and other passengers become trapped on a speeding train during a zombie outbreak in South Korea.
I have my fair share with zombie movies, you know. I love Zombieland, the first one, and one of my guilty pleasures is Warm Bodies. Don't know if you heard of this movie, but I just kinda love it. I don't care if it's bad or if it's good. For me, zombie movies, they can be entertaining, but I'm obviously more into the comedy side of things, I guess. Like when zombie movies go too serious, I kinda start to pinpoint things and be like interested in how the world works, but like trying to see if it really makes sense the way that they're presenting to us. But this one, it's more of a drama. It has action, it really builds up, and when it happens, you're like, oh damn, you became a zombie. Bye! They're trapped in a train. So how do you escape it? To accompany them in this journey is just really fun. But like you feel for the characters, how people would really behave in these situations. Some would just think about themselves first, others would try to help each other, and you see in the end which way is more effective. I know that people get a little bugged with the CGI, but I didn't mind. I was just so into the story. Movie number 9. I know I didn't say the numbers of the movies, but movie number 9. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about this. This is a little weird one. It is Death Becomes Her.
When a novelist loses her man to a movie star and former friend, she decides to take revenge upon her hands. But it turns out to be more difficult than she thought it would be, because of a secret that involves both of them.
I wanted to watch this movie because of Meryl Streep. Love her work. She is a great actress. We all know that.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same.
It's a movie that drags a little. There's a character that wants revenge, and then you're like, okay, so you're gonna get your revenge. Let's accompany that. But then we go to another part of the movie that focuses on the Meryl Streep character, that she's obsessed with like looking young, and like, I don't want to get old, and I want to be pretty forever. Why did I act like that right now? So she gets this potion, and the lady says, you are never going to get old again. You're going to look young forever. So the movie kind of builds up on that. And you can imagine how things go from there. I think that there's parts that work, you're kind of interested in your company in the movie. I'm sure it has an audience that people really love it. But for me, it was okay. It was fine. Last movie of the list. I'm sure it's a good one. Let's see. I told you, it's a good one. It's Coraline.
While exploring her new home, a girl named Coraline discovers a secret door, behind which lies an alternate world that closely mirrors her own, but in many ways is better. But when her adventure turns dangerous, she must use all her resources and bravery to fight back the mysterious threat.
The last time that I watched Coraline was when I was a kid, so I had never watched as an adult. I still think that I'm a young adult.
I'm getting older.
It's really interesting the perspective that you get from this movie once you're older. It's like you understand the parents now, why they act the way they do. And you are there seeing Coraline, she's a child yet. Of course, she goes into that new world and she's like, oh, the buttons and yards are weird, but this world is fantastic, I want to live here. Until she realizes that it's not everything that she thought of. I love this movie. Coraline is just that movie that if you watch it in your childhood, you know, you grow up with it, you know the story. It just makes you miss your childhood a little bit. It makes you go like, oh my god, being a kid, it's so short. Like, we are a kid until we are 12, 13, and then we go into our teen years and it's all different. The feelings that we have during those times. Then when we are a kid, then we just don't know what is happening around us and we are just discovering things and ourselves and just living. So those were the movies I watched for Halloween. So, I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that maybe you got interested in watching some of these movies, being for Halloween or being just for pure curiosity. Give it a try, see if you like it or not. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.